Before we can I think you're actually setting the clock both times you booted up the game. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at... Oh. You're welcome. Yeah. I don't even have any... What? See the screen, just set your clock to your favorite time. What's my favorite time? 3:06. Friends, people of the outside world, welcome back to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition. Last time, we got a few endings. I don't remember which ones we did last, but I'm here to do some more, because I have thought of some more areas, like instead of turning off the machine, turning it on, and going through the whole conveyor area.
This is the...
I know. Alright, we're back. The setting is the same. Nice. Okay, and
All
we're
of his
back.
co-workers were gone.
Yep.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay. Sure, whatever. Wonder if any other doors will open. Wonder if I turn off all these computers. Okay, so I think I should do the one where I turn the machine on. I think that'll be...
When Stanley came to a set of two open
Since
doors, he
I'm
entered
just
the
looking
door on
around
his
for other
left.
things, just in case. I don't think I can open any doors.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a
This.
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find
There's
an
a
answer
whiteboard
there.
manager? Are those actually a thing? Gym. There should be a door that just says gym. I can go in the broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay. I didn't know if Chris was
Coming
there or
to a
anything.
staircase,
Yeah,
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Isn't it 2845?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was
Right.
once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as
right.
quickly as
I
possible,
forgot this
he
happens.
didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he
Okay,
relaxed
sure.
for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Forgot this happens. Can I play the piano to stop it? Oh. I enter. Let me in now.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated,
Ah, yes.
Stanley calmly walked forward
So
into
nice.
the opened passageway.
Alright, let's go to... I want to turn on the machine. I want to get mind controlled. And maybe my coworkers will return too. Yay!
Descending deeper into the
Isn't that
building,
fun?
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he
Okay.
felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Yeah, well.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yeah, I know. I want to turn the machine on, man. Meh.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
What?
What horrible secret did
That's
this place hold? Stanley
crazy,
thought to
yo.
himself. Did he have
Whatever.
the strength to find out?
Yes, I do. I have the strength to push an on button, a button that says the big ON.
Now the monitors jumped to life,
I thought that was my
their true
phone
nature
ringing.
revealed.
Yeah, it's just my
Each bore
controller
the number
vibrating.
of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The
But they're
lives
all
of so many
gone.
individuals reduced
Ooh,
to
what is
images
that?
on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant
Boy,
nothing.
528. Something's wrong with him. What's that? There's a lot of different.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe
that one's
it
all
couldn't
glitched
be
out.
true. Had
34,
Stanley really been under someone's
234.
control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yeah. Fired. 104 is fired.
No. He refused to
And
believe
601?
it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was
Si.
unthinkable.
Si,
Wasn't
senor.
it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I don't know, but I want to push a button that says on. That sounds like a real. Oop, I was looking up.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
I also
Controls
want to push
labeled with emotions.
these
Happy
buttons.
or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as
At
the
some
cold
point
reality
too,
of his
because
past began to
like,
sink
yeah,
in,
there's
Stanley
a
decided that this
certain amount of
machinery
buttons
would never
here.
again exert its terrible
5.
power over another human life.
Ooh,
For
what's
he
that I
would
see?
dismantle the controls once and for all.
What is this? Ooh, this is what I've wanted all Christmas.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yeah.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yes!
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do.
Like
You were
what?
supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Is this what the numbers are for?
If this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments.
I probably should have checked those ones before going up here.
But what precious.
That's 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then 5.
To talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means.
Stanley, why can't you run?
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers
1,
are? A moment of
2,
solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood.
3's over
They're
here.
gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
Oh.
I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Okay.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you.
I didn't do it right. Oh, goodness. Oh, wait, there's literally an exit.
I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
Oh, is this how I do this then?
Additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear
Is
me,
there
what's the
a
matter,
certain
Stanley?
combination?
Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Kind
Or
of.
did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything,
What big red
something
button?
here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place
Okay.
is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death.
4?
You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for
4.
every moment that you're powerless.
Yellow?
To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you
4.
can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley.
I
That's
am.
30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you
Oh, goodness.
blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
Ow. That was bright. Okay. I wonder if there is actually a way to do that. I'll do that later, but
all of his co-workers were
because I don't know exactly what I have to do.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked,
Yeah.
he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Pie hole, Mr. Narrator. I'm just turning things off and on. Purple. It was there like that last time. I don't know what. New content.
Oh, new content?
Yes.
What does that mean, new content?
I don't know, but it's intriguing. Door. Should probably just be facing forward.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
You're welcome.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles
nearly
and
10 years.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content
I don't know why I didn't
that
say 9
broadens
years.
and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
I mean, this is
so
all.
far it's
Most of this is.
nothing special yet.
Most of this is all new to me.
It's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Yes, we must.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
I'm not the one giving the content.
All right, let's see. It's The jump circle?
Jumping. Whee! If we go out of the circle, okay. You can only jump inside the circle. This is something for new content. Have like a green circle for high jumps, blue circles for like long jumps. Whatever.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be like Portal-like puzzles
Another
with the new
elevator.
jumps.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what
I like
poses for
elevators.
exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just
The elevators
read you
could
the whole
look nicer.
dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good.
Why am I always facing the wrong way?
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan
That's kinda
base
fun.
rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality
Wait,
assurance
really?
department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
Yeah, when
What
I
do
blow
you
up the
say,
facility.
friend?
Oh, I thought I had to do it. This is not it. What?
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
What? Okay, now I also have the option to not go in the vent and disobey him again.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers
What?
won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the
Whoa.
Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences
Really?
like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Okay.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory
Zone,
Zone
sweet
remind
zone.
you of how wonderful
Don't
Stanley
forget.
Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember
What?
back in October of 2013, when the
2013.
game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant
First
something.
kiss, my first car. The
Oh,
release of
wait.
Stanley Parable. The Stanley Parable. 2013. Is that the time? No, that's actually not the time. Stanley Parable. Good times. It's just pictures of the Stanley Parable. Oop. What's this? Stanley Parable. Stanley Parable. Okay, what's next? In loving memory, the Stanley Parable. Me first dollar. Maybe that's the first buck the game got. What? The Stanley Parable demonstration? What was that? It's impossible to get this achievement. Don't play for 5 years. Yeah, I've heard that this one has an achievement that says don't play for 10 years. Goodness gracious. I'll probably be having my own house by then. Hopefully. It's a piano. What's this? Okay. Little Stanley. Oh.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Tasteful and nostalgic. It was good. Wait. The one that we were at, was that the original Stanley Parable? Like, when we fell down from Rocket League. Memories on maintenance. Was that the original? Like, the original? What? Person of the year. Me. Stanley. I asked my friend, do you know the Stanley Parable? They're like, I know Stanley.
Here's another moving passage.
They meant
from GameSpot.com.
Yeah, they meant
The Stanley
Stanley.
Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else.
Pictures?
It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling. These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
Me
What's this?
neither.
What's down here?
Let's see. Oh, it looks
no.
like that.
God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
I don't know.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Oh no, this is some nice new continents. Ooh, what that? That's a good one. That's a good one. Hey, look, that's a good one. Oh, this one's a good one.
Let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record.
Yeah, you always have to expect these kinds of things.
Like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well,
It kind of
yes.
is.
Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly
Oh.
too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop
Okay.
you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the
Okay.
players have been asking for, and
Yes.
I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here.
Okay.
Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound...
Oh my goodness, this guy sucks. I'm
Not
going to
that,
skip
of
him.
course, you need... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording.
Those are Steam
perhaps.
reviews.
To be honest,
It's
I
pressurized
don't
gas,
even know if one
also
can change their review in
Steam.
the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that would have been a smart...
Bye.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and
No more
longer.
door.
That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate,
Only
I
to
do
Cookie
suggest
9.
that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12
Jeez.
hours.
That's a large jump.
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
Why?
I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times.
The
And
lights are
there's
gone out.
no door, Stanley. There's no door.
That's
There's
cool.
just... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same?
Bye.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again.
Hi.
Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much
breaking up.
time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe
Yeah.
it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but
Oh, the
regret
plant is
for the
dead.
longest time, Stanley.
My
Days,
favorite
months.
plant.
I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing.
Bye. How long has it been? 12 hours? Until like... Oh, okay, he's just gone. Since when was that there? Oh my god. Let me get out of here.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world.
Do this. Drippy drops. Some drippy drops.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Okay. Bye. See ya. Well, drippy drops. This place can like cave in. Can I have an opening? Walk out of? Maybe. Oh, yeah, it caved in alright. Didn't open anything up. Can't get out of here. Maybe if I skip like another 30 years or so. Ooh! Oh, okay, let's go. Ooh. But oh look, there's actually like trees out there. You can actually see outside. What is this, like an extra 60 years? Let's go an extra 105. And everything is dead now. Ashes. Dust. I don't know what happened there. I don't want to know what that is. Oh. Oh, what? Oh, we can leave. Oh, goodness. What is that? Are those clouds? That's probably just clouds. What? It's an open world game. It's what he would have wanted. How far do I have to walk? Oh, that far. Are we done? Is that it? Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Welcome back.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Kind of
Perhaps
missed
he had
you.
simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Still gonna... Look, look. Is there, every time an ending goes by, is there gonna be a computer that's on with stuff on it? Because that's the second time I did the awaiting input. New content! Oh my goodness, you're bribing me so bad. You're bribing me so bad. Let's go!
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Yeah? Is it the same thing? Well, of course I know it's your sign, but... Are we gonna turn? No. What?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about
Yeah?
how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The
Oh.
original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the
What?
Stanley Parable 2.
2?
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new
Kind of.
territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what
Yeah.
fans have truly been asking for.
I mean, kind of. If there's actually just like a...
Stanley Parable 2
just
is
the two of
just
us.
so much catchier
Just
than
the
Ultra
two
Deluxe,
of
don't you
us.
think? Ultra
We can
Deluxe?
make...
What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there.
New
It's
content is
future-oriented.
out. New
It
content part
screams
2 is
progress
in.
and innovation and long-term franchising
Boring sections of the
potential.
chart. Cool red section of the chart. New hotness. They're back. More TSP, better TSP, win. Oh. Oh, these are just like ideas.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
Is this actually going to be a
If I can loosely
an actual?
organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally
Took the red
spring up
marker.
around
Me.
them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
The prequel? 2 is the sequel to the Stanley Parable. Is the prequel to the Stanley Parable? Okay. Weird. This way to the show floor. Okay. New features. Can I look? New features in the Stanley Parable 2. Is this like an actual thing that's going to happen, or is this just for this game? Probably just for this game, to be honest. What?
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Merch! The end is never the end. Do they actually have Stanley Parable merch? That would be nice and cool and awesome. I don't usually buy merch, to be honest. The button that says the button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Hear your name in the game. Hear my name.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game.
Is it going to say my
Isn't that
username?
wonderful?
If it says... Okay.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise
Remember
you'll
Jim on the
love it.
whiteboard.
Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and
I feel like
being
Jim would have the
heartbroken
best
as Jim,
posture ever.
seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
I'm Jim,
If
and
so,
I am...
then please step forward and press the button.
I have second-degree murder. And that is quite fun. Better than first, I say.
Yes, you see? What a thrill!
What?
What a
That was
rush.
my
you.
name.
The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
What's my name?
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If
Yeah,
this were
dude.
the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Back to me. Back to who I really am. Enjoy
suppose I
the
could
new
allow only
features.
people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable too. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
What's this?
An
Epilogue.
epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
The bucket. Insurance bucket. Infinite hole free trophies. Settings world champion. Free trophy. Free trophy. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Is that what I look like? Free trophy. Get yours right now. Pull the lever, receive your new trophy. No mistakes. It just works like that.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's a... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist.
Yeah, you should have.
The trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Give me my death trophy right now. Fine. Mr. Parable. Exit. Jump circle. Okay. Let's go to collectibles. Can you find them? Can you find them? Can you find them? Can you find them? Let's see. Can we find them? What is this?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, people do like collectibles this much. I like it. Nice. Collect them all. Oh, now it's actually collectibles.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Then happy 12th birthday. That'd be... Oh, yeah. Happy 12th birthday. Step... Okay, never mind. Maybe not that.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Okay. Sure. Are the collectibles actually a thing? Like, can I actually... The reassurance bucket. It's an actual thing. It's a thing I can...
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played.
There's no bucket!
I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes. The bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Bucket.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
I mean,
the benefits of the bucket
this
seem to
is
go
how
on
you
and
do
on,
it.
don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
I'll just keep the bucket. Sweet.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Have you heard Jim in the game? Yes. What's this? A whole new office? Red is the new orange. The new updated ray traced more the same, but in a good way. Sequel to the new features, new content, new ideas. Gem circle. Okay, I feel like we should go to the exit now. Okay, he was looking at me earlier, if I am correct. I don't know why he's... Got my bucket, I'm happy.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to?
Yes.
Ready to move on now?
Yep. Okay, is this like the existentialism of the next game? Screenshots? No screenshots. What this?
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's
Yeah.
not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Ooh-wee!
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's
I didn't actually
sort
go
of-
to the infinite hole, I just realized.
Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement.
Because I saw the reassurance bucket.
Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This
See the
isn't a
bucket.
coherent video
Oh,
game
there's
at
two.
all. It's a lot of gags.
But
And
there's
I
two
do
buckets.
very
There's
much
four!
enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
There's 4 buckets.
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait,
Yeah.
maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect.
Yeah.
With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh, we're actually gonna be thrown in. What? Oh, this is cool. Okay, and my dog is having a fit. What? Okay, those are actually cool settings. Yeah, everything is still the same on my settings. Begin. I wonder if it just said narrator in the credits.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for
Oh
a
my
company in
God.
a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
Yep.
as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Because you
And
make
then
the
one
story
day,
different.
something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had
Yeah.
showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation.
Happy 12th birthday,
Something was very clearly
Stepniece.
wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
God.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Hallelujah. 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 Is the thing here? The little BB boops? No.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
I did, didn't I? That's the new content door. Room 416.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What if I don't? I'm gonna do it. I love my bucket. I love my bucket. Hey, Mr. Oh no!
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the
I
bucket's warmth and
remember.
comfort now more than ever.
No!
Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh,
There was a
Stanley,
no
can you
bucket
feel it?
door.
The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure
Yes.
that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong.
I am.
Coming to a staircase,
Okay.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I hope I don't have to like redo everything to get back to this point. If I do, that's fine. Is the number
Stepping
code
into his
different?
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Yeah.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark
I love
clouds
the
of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's
Oh,
desk.
this.
Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
Same thing.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Must have been the
Was
bucket.
it that the bucket knew all along?
Yeah.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
There's another one.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about
Stanlerine.
Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
I love this. gonna talk about my bucket again. I see it move. Oh.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Yes. Everything will be A-okay.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Where'd my bucket go? There it is, my bucket.
The lights rose on
Wow.
an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I love my bucket, oh my goodness. Mr. Bucket, you'll be okay. I'll get you out of here safely. Just follow my lead. Or I'll follow your lead. Whatever you want. You're the bucket, of course.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley
No, the
cradled it
bucket.
gently, reassuring
Oh,
it
thank you,
that
bucket.
everything would be fine.
Alright, Mr. Bucket. You'll be
Was the
A-okay.
bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket
hope
been
not.
told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He
No!
couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's
Mr.
control,
Bucket.
never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in
Is
the
our
entire
friendship a
world.
lie, Mr. Bucket?
At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good.
Yes.
Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
We'll take this downtown. Shed that bucket.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the
Mr.
kind
Bucket.
of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley
Really?
wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
Okay.
Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together.
Yes.
With one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped?
Wait.
Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room.
Oh, you
lingering
wanted
in
this.
uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the
No.
bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the
No.
bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not
My
while this
bucket.
building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
My
To be
bucket.
trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I?
Yeah.
Stanley
Yes.
gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
god, please. Is it still gonna be... It's... Oh my goodness! I love this. Okay, I'm gonna end this episode off here. If you enjoyed, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see everyone next time. Bye! And for more Stanley Parable